Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, Mobility Analyst, reporting this week from San Diego, California, and I had the great opportunity of just listening to Sumair Dutta from Aberdeen Group share what he's seeing in developments on enterprise mobility and field services. So why don't we just jump right in it and talk about that? So what kind of developments are you seeing in the field services area where's mobility having an impact?
Sure. And you think with field service, you think it's inherently mobile because, there's a worker in the field, he's in the truck, or he or she's in the truck, and you think they would have mobile applications. But we only find about 60% or so of organizations are currently mobile, much less on the smaller side. But in terms of when I say mobile, having an application in place for mobile field service. But mobility is one of the biggest growth areas in field service, and it has significant implications from an improvement in customer satisfaction point of view, but primarily in an improvement in productivity and utilization perspective. Ultimately, that obviously goes down to the bottom line. If you're able to resolve more issues on a first-time basis, first-time fix is a big metric, and if you're able to get more trips done during the day, obviously that drives more revenue, better profitability for the business. So mobility is having a significant impact on field service, and we see a very, very healthy appetite for not only mobile apps, but mobile devices, mobile communication platforms. Essentially, how can you empower these field service workers with mobile information that essentially removes the step of trying to communicate all the time with the organization? What can they have in their hands that gives them the right information that gets their job done without the pain of paperwork and administrative tasks? So it's having a significant impact. We just did a survey about on average across organizations, technicians save 41 to 45 minutes of work just by the removal of paperwork in their field service days. And that's 41 minutes might not sound a lot, but you present that to any organization, that is a significant amount of time that can be saved just in paperwork.
So I have a question for you as well, Sumair. So I think the number was 59% of medium-sized companies still don't use mobile technology in the field services.
Yeah, it's slightly, it's a little bit more than 50%. It's around 50% of companies are using on mid-size. So mid-size would be 50 to 500 technicians. Yeah, it is surprising. You would think that a lot more of them are using application, but companies just haven't yet invested. We expect that to change pretty significantly, though. Field service and mobility is a big area of investment for companies. If you think about field service organizations and the type of solutions they're investing in, mobility comes up to the list. Analytics and information and business intelligence are very high as well. Knowledge management, collaboration, those are the three things that tend to come up. But mobility is definitely one of the bigger topics for field service across all companies, organization sizes.
So, Sumair, do you have an opinion on what obstacles are preventing these companies from just jumping in? Because it's really hard not to justify mobility nowadays.
I mean, if you take aside the biggest cost challenges, et cetera, obviously there are perceptions around change management. Obviously, moving from a paper-based system or a technician system where the technician knows everything to saying now the solution knows everything, there's a big element of change management. That's a significant challenge as well. The other element is the integration work that is often required between, a mobile application is just a portal to communication with the back end. And if the technician doesn't have the right information for whatever reason, whether it's offline or it hasn't been updated, if they're not getting the right information, they're not delivering the right level of service, then the mobility solution has kind of failed in its purpose. So the integration aspect is a significant challenge. And then that comes with it, how much do I need to be involved from an IT point of view? How much time is required? What's the cost of IT involvement? What's the deployment time? When am I going to begin to see returns on this? Those are some of the biggest challenges. Obviously, those are being addressed by sort of different deployment models, different platforms, different strategies, different implementation partners. But it tends to be around integration of technology, to a certain extent cost, and then the element of change management. How do I get my workers to trust in and use this device and application as opposed to a system that they've been very, very comfortable with in the past?
Great. Sumair, I want to thank you so much for sharing with us. And in all my presentations, I'm quoting Aberdeen all the time. You guys have some great content, so thank you very much for sharing.